Welcome to For the Love of MSTR, where I talk about how my MSTR stock is doing each week. I'm Mr. Moneybags, and I am not a financial advisor. Please trade at your own risk, and you can read our full financial disclaimer in the description of this video. And today I'm going to talk about how my MSTR stock did during the week of March 3rd. So, also going to talk about different news that's coming up this week. So, if you like to look through our chapters and go to the parts that you want to, feel free to do so. With that being said, let's get started. On Monday, Bitcoin ended at $86,216. MicroStrategy ended at $250.92. So, Bitcoin was down and MSTR was down. And I was down $34.55 for March 3rd, and my total gain has been plus $471.79, or plus 32.53%. My July purchase of 2024, I'm plus $533, or plus 40%. My November purchase of 2024, I am minus almost $62, or minus 45%. Tuesday, March 4th, there's been some tariff talk with Trump, but you know, either way, the market still did pretty good. That I guess they see it as a negotiation tactic, but I was plus $185.57, or plus 9.65%, and on Wednesday, I was plus $256. So far, I'm on the positive side. And MSTR on Wednesday ended at $308.55, or plus $33.40, which is 12%. All right, Bitcoin ended on Wednesday at $90,403.50, and my total loss on March 6th, which is Thursday, was minus $34. So not too bad of a loss. That brought my July 2024 purchase down to plus 70%, or plus $925. My November purchase of 2024, I'm minus $46, or minus 33%. And I believe the markets were nervous because on Friday, Jerome Powell's going to speak about, interest rate cuts. When could we expect it? Which, he kind of just said the same thing, which we're going to keep looking at data and we're not in a rush to cut interest rates. So it's just the same stuff he's always said. But, the markets always get nervous when Jerome Powell speaks. And we also on Friday had some jobs reports that came out. And I didn't think the jobs report was that bad. Some other analysts, financial analysts, didn't think they were that bad. But, it didn't show any progress. But it just left investors nervous because there's a lot of uncertainty about our economy. So on Friday, I was minus $129.67 on that day, which brought my total gain at $749.51, which is plus 51.69%. So it was a positive week for MSTR, but Bitcoin ended flat. Came in the week around 86,000 and it ended the week around 86,000. MicroStrategy began the week, I think it ended on Monday at $250 and it ended on Friday at $287. But it's kind of been MSTR and Bitcoin's been doing this for several weeks now, a few months, where it's kind of in that MicroStrategy is in that $300 range, $350, and we had a big dip last week where it's been in the $200 range. And Bitcoin it's been going, up and down, based on news. So it could be in the 90s, 95, 93, then it'll drop down to almost 80,000. So it's just very volatile. Earlier this week, Michael Saylor was on CNBC. And before he came on here, Trump had tweeted on X that he was going to create a crypto reserve. And it's going to have like Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. And a lot of Bitcoin enthusiasts were upset about that because it wasn't Bitcoin only. And Michael Saylor was on here and he gave his opinion on it. And I'm going to play a little clip.
Do you think that any other asset should be in the strategic crypto reserve?
I think if you're looking out over the next 100 years, trying to figure out how do you capitalize a nation state or a country, what you want is a digital commodity. But if you have a sovereign wealth fund, then I think it's well within the rights of the leader of the nation to decide to put, proprietary assets, securities, tokens, and the like into it. And of course, the decision will eventually be made through a fairly comprehensive political process over the next 6 months. We have till July 22nd when the digital assets framework and recommendations from the executive order are due on the president's desk. It should be interesting to watch what happens between now and then.
Well, Michael, we certainly appreciate you coming on to talk us through how you're.
So one thing I want to key on is when he said that there's going to be some framework, crypto framework, that would be on the president's desk at the end of July. So I guess the White House committee, the crypto committee, they're working on something. Or this is an interview with the Coinbase CEO. And this is after the crypto summit at the White House. And President Trump said, he created a Bitcoin strategic reserve. He didn't buy any Bitcoin, but they're going to hold on to the Bitcoin they have, and he's going to do more as far as legislation and the cryptocurrency. So, a lot of people were disappointed because they didn't buy any Bitcoin, and they said they wouldn't use taxpayers' dollars to buy Bitcoin, but they're going to try to come up, I guess, with other ways where if it's in the budget somehow, they will buy it, but it won't be taxpayers' dollars. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I don't even think they know how they're going to do that, but I'm going to play this video because I want to key on, again, from Michael Saylor's interview about a specific date where they're going to have some legislation on Bitcoin.
The administration obviously working to create more clarity for your industry. Congress also looking to create rules of the road, something I know that you and many others in the industry have been thirsting for. What are you hearing from lawmakers on Capitol Hill as it relates to the market structure bill, either in the Senate or the House? What are your expectations on how quickly that could move? We heard from President Trump this afternoon. He's looking for something before the August recess, he said.
Yeah. That was very promising to hear as well, that he's really asked Congress to come back and pass legislation before August before the August recess. We're incredibly excited about the progress because I think this is the most pro-crypto Congress we've ever seen. They're already working on draft legislation in the House and the Senate around stablecoins, which we're very supportive of. That's going to help preserve the dollar's reserve currency status, a digital dollar. And then they're also starting to work on market structure legislation that would help clarify which of these crypto assets are commodities, securities, payment tokens, or something else like artwork. And so if they do that, it's going to bring in lots of new pools of capital into the U.S. The biggest crypto companies can finally get built here in the United States, and it would be a huge moment for American prosperity.
Okay, so that date, came up again. So they're going to have something right before August at the White House as far as crypto related, maybe some legislation. I'm hoping that banks will be able to custody cryptocurrencies. Maybe you could pay taxes using Bitcoin, things of that nature, more clarity. And I think for the year of 2025, I think that's what we can mainly expect. I don't think there will be like obviously Trump said we have a Bitcoin reserve, but they didn't buy any, and I don't think they're going to buy any Bitcoin anytime soon. But I think when the laws and legislation comes out, I think that would help Bitcoin price go up and other cryptocurrencies to go up. But I think that's what we can expect in 2025. All right, this is the U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers for the week of March 10th. On March 10th, we don't have anything. Tuesday, March 11th, you have the NFIB Optimism Index. And at 10 a.m., we have job openings. At Wednesday, March 12th, we had the Consumer Price Index. So this can move the market. CPI year over year, that can move the market. Core CPI year over year, and monthly U.S. federal budget. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, another report investors will be paying attention to. We have the producer price index, the core PPI year over year, and core PPI year over year. And Friday is a consumer sentiment. So those are the inflation reports for the week of March 10th. That's the end of our show. If you find any value in our show, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share with others. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Peace out.